Hey everyone, welcome to Inside Indiana Overtime. Alex McCarthy, Seth Tao, here at Assembly Hall, where Indiana just beat UMass Lowell 100-78. Tim Priller was the last person. He got Indiana to 100 points, so
If there was anyone to get him to 100,
Exactly.
let it be Tim Priller.
Right, his cult hero status just took another step up.
I was writing my recap when that happened, and I knew it was Priller by the crowd's reaction.
Yep.
Like, they'd cheer for an Indiana score, but that was the biggest cheer of the night.
Yeah, when he came in with like 90 seconds left, give or take, and they were at 98, I was just thinking like, ooh, baby, that's going to happen. And it did, yeah, and they ended up winning 178. Priller, believe it or not, was not the leading scorer. James Blackman had that title. He ends with 23 points, 20 of them in the first half, which means that in a 45-minute span, which is the second half of the Kansas game plus overtime plus the first half of this game, so in 45 minutes he had scored 42 points, which is a pretty good run for him.
That's impressive.
And he was 8 for 12 from the floor, 5 for 9 from 3. And both he and Rob Johnson, his classmate, fellow junior guard, had great nights.
Right, and after the game, Rob Johnson even talked about how Blackman shooting so well really opened the floor up for him to do some stuff because the defense had to pay more attention to Blackman, so that opened up some more drive lanes for Johnson and gave him some more threes. And Johnson took advantage of it. He had 16 points, and it was, unlike Blackman, it was a little more split evenly. And he really just played a well-rounded game. He had 5 rebounds and 5 assists, I believe. Yeah, five rebounds, 5 assists. Just a well-rounded game for Rob Johnson.
Yeah, it's just the usual kind of what people have come to expect from Johnson, where he's not, you're not going to look back at this game and think like, wow, what a performance from Rob Johnson. But he actually played really well and kind of tied everything together. You mentioned that he had the best plus-minus on the team. He usually plays pretty good perimeter defense. And Indiana, after, Indiana tonight in general was not super sharp defensively. I mean, you look at 78 points to UMass Lowell, and UMass Lowell scores a lot of points. Has scored a lot in their first couple games, but you would think from the number 6 team in the country that you'd be able to kind of slow them down a little bit and win. And if you're going to score 100 points, you should win by more than 22 over an opponent like this. But it was just a very inconsistent kind of defensive performance.
Yeah, they showed flashes at times, but then for every good play on defense, every nice block, there were a couple nice blocks from John Davis and Thomas Bryant.
Right.
The block he had, he got called for technical on. That was a really nice block.
Nice chase down block, yeah.
But for every play like that, there's a play like the one where Thomas Bryant and James Blackman are dazed and confused and just staring at each other, wondering how they just let up a wide open layup.
Yeah, and Tom Crean yesterday said that one of the main things that he was going to be looking for tonight was defensive communication on screens and more active hands defensively. And I don't know about how active Indiana's hands were, but I think it's safe to say that there are a lot of communication mishaps throughout the night, and just guys not really talking, not calling stuff out maybe as much as Crean or anybody wanted them to.
But the defense as a whole just looked out of sorts tonight. Especially in the paint. Indiana's going to want to lock down the paint better. They give up 30 points in the paint to UMass Lowell, who was not overwhelming at all with their size. Crean talked about how they at times had 5 shooters on the floor, put a 6'3" player in the post or something like that. So to give up 30 points in the paint when they don't really have any size is just, when you have Thomas Bryant in there, it's just not acceptable.
When you have Bryant in there, when you have Deron Davis in there playing a pretty good amount of time, 12 minutes, something like that. They had big guys in there for a lot of the time, and they went with a couple small lineups, but for the most part,
you saw UMass Lowell drive in and knock some layups in much more than Tom Crean, I'm sure, would have liked.
Yeah. So that's obviously something that Indiana's going to want to look for moving forward. But again, it's coming off a big win, an emotional win, what was probably a fairly draining win against Kansas a few nights ago.
Time zones.
And a little bit of jet lag, everything like that. Of course, Kansas, on the other hand, had the same situation, but even worse. They played last night against the number 1 team in the country and won. But still, I mean, there's going to be a little bit of sloppiness from time to time from Indiana, and I think this game probably started the way that a lot of people expected it to against. I mean, it's just it's kind of what they did in the exhibitions as well, where they come out and kind of listless. They're tied at 16 at one point, and we weren't able to really pull away until Blackman really just kind of caught on fire, and they went on a 10-0 run and kind of had control of the game more or less from then on out. But it was just not the most energetic Indiana performance of all time, which kind of can be expected when you go from playing Kansas on a national stage to playing UMass Lowell. So I don't know. That's about it from here, unless we're missing anything. I don't know. I mean, there's usually not much to talk about with these early season games. So that's it for tonight. Indiana's back in action, both football and basketball, Saturday. I'll be in Ann Arbor for IU's game against Michigan.
I'll be in there.
And and Seth will be home because of Thanksgiving break here. But we'll have full coverage of both of those. I assume Ed Magoni's going to be here Saturday night for us to cover basketball. So we got you covered on all fronts.
I'll still be chiming in my thoughts.
Right. Seth will still be dropping in haikus every once in a while on the board,
I didn't have
on
any
Twitter.
today.
I know. Slacking, dude.
I'll get one now, though.
Seriously.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, I know. The drop in energy kind of translated to the board tonight, where, the haikus were not at a high level tonight. So we promise to be better in the future.
They were low coups.
All right. We're going to turn this off, and hopefully we can delete the last 30 seconds of this video. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry if you've made it this far, and we will talk with you soon.